Hello, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to teach you how to solve word problems leading to linear equations. Now, word problems are problems in math that requires you to decode words and turn them into equations and expressions which you must solve. Now, let's look at some examples. The sum of 6 and a number is equal to the product of the number and 2. Find the number. In this particular example, or in word problems in general, what you have to do is decode the sentences so that it will give you the correct equation. Now, the sum of 6 and a number is equal to the product of the number and 2. We don't know this particular number which is mentioned here and here. We don't know the particular number, so we are going to pick a letter to represent the number. It can be X or Y or G or A or Z, but for this example let us choose X. So let the number be X. Now we're going to put this X into the expression which is here. So the sum of 6 and a number, since X is that number, we are going to have 6 plus X, since they said the sum now is equal to the product of the number and 2, meaning 6 plus X is equal to X times 2. Note that the product is the same thing as saying X multiplies 2, or the product simply means multiplication. Now what we have here is a linear equation, and please, if you don't know how to solve linear equations, check out my video on how to solve linear equations. The link is in the description below. So X times 2 is going to give us 2X. So 6 plus X is going to give us 2X. Now what we are going to do is subtract X from both sides. So we'll have 6 is equal to 2X minus X. So 2X minus X is going to give us 1X, or X. So 6 is equal to X, or X is equal to 6. So this is your answer. And note, if you put X in the equation you formed, you are in fact going to get what is on this side if you put the value in either side of the equality sign. Now since X is equal to 6, 6 plus 6 is 12, and 2 times X, which is 6, is 12, meaning this side is equal to this side. Now let's look at more examples. And one more thing, always conclude at the end of your solving, or when you've got your answer. Always conclude at the end. So the number is 6, and this is how you conclude, with a short statement. It could be longer, it just depends on the way you conclude. I think of a number, I multiply it by 3 and add 6 to it. The result is the same as 7 plus the number. What is the number? Sorry, it's supposed to be a question mark. Feel free to pause the video and try out this example by yourself. Now, the question has two sentences before what they told you to do. Now we're going to decode each sentence. Now, the first sentence says that I think of a number, I multiply it by 3 and add 6 to it. The first thing to do is to pick an unknown for that number to be. It could be X, Y, G, like I've said in the previous example. But for this example, let's use N. So let the number be N. Now, I think of a number, I multiply it by 3 and add 6 to it. Meaning, from the first sentence, what we can derive is that N times 3 plus 6. This is what is contained in the first sentence. And let's put this as, let's denote the first sentence as FS, meaning first sentence. So I think of a number, add it to 6. Now the second sentence says that the result is the same as 7 plus the number, meaning this is going to be equal to 7 plus the number, meaning N times 3 plus 6 is equal to 7 plus N. And this is what we derive from the second sentence. Now we're going to combine the first and second sentence. N times 3 is 3N. So 3N plus 6 is equal to 7 plus N. Now we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. So we have 3N is equal to 7 plus N minus 6. And now we are going to subtract N from both sides. 3N minus N is equal to 7 minus 6. 3N minus N is going to leave us with 2N, and 7 minus 6 is going to leave us with 1. Now in this case, we're going to divide both sides by 2. So we have 2N divided by 2 is equal to 1 over 2. 2 cancel out 2, and N is equal to a half, or 1 over 2. Now if you don't understand what I did here, you can watch my video on how to solve linear equations, and I will leave the link in the description. So this is your answer, but don't forget we have to conclude at the end. Now it's like they're asking you a question, and to answer that question you have to conclude at the end. So N is equal to half, so we are going to say the number is 1 over 2, or a half. So the number is 1 over 2. So this is the answer, and this is your conclusion. I add 7 to a certain number and double the results. My final answer is 34. Find the number. Now 7 is added to a certain number and the result is doubled. So what we what we can derive from this is 7 plus a certain number, but we don't know what that number is. So we're going to say let the number be y. So 7 to a certain number, 7 plus, sorry, plus y, and double the results. What does it mean to double? It just means to multiply by 2. So this will be in the bracket and we're going to multiply it by 2. Now this is what we derive from the first sentence. Now note, writing this first sentence stuff isn't really mandatory, just for easier explanation. I just do it for me to be able to explain better. Now the second sentence says that my final answer is 34, meaning 7 plus y, all in a bracket, multiplied by 2 is equal to 34. And this is what we derive from the second sentence. Now we are going to use 2 to multiply the brackets, but first we are going to arrange it in the right pattern. So I have 2 brackets, 7 plus y equal to 34. Now y is 2 outside of the brackets. Now they say the result is doubled, meaning these two, or these two rather, as a whole is being doubled. If y was known, for instance, let's say for instance y was 1, we would have added 7 to 1, then multiplied. But since we can't add 7 to y, we will write it like this and multiply it by 2 by putting it outside of the brackets. So if you open the bracket, you're going to multiply this to this and then use it to multiply this. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times y is 2y, so I have plus 2y equal to 34. Now we're going to subtract 14 from both sides. So we'll have 2y is equal to 34 minus 14. 2y is equal to 20. Now next we are going to divide both sides by 2. 2y divided by 2 is equal to 20 divided by 2. 2 will cancel out 2, you'll be left with y. So y is equal to 10. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So this is your answer. Now don't forget, we'll have to conclude at the end. So the number is 10. And remember, I said to conclude, you need a short statement. But sometimes, well, it depends on you, it might not be this short. Now let's try out another example. I add 45 to a certain number and divide the sum by 2. The final result is the same as 5 times the number. What is the number? Now we are going to pick an unknown like we did in the previous examples. It could be x or y or z, but for this example let it be x. So let the number be x. Now I add from the first sentence, it says I add 45 to a certain number and divide the sum by 2. So 45 is added to x, sorry. and is divided by 2. And this is what we derive from the first sentence. Hmm. I add 45 to a certain number and divide the sum by 2. The final result is the same as 5 times the number. What is the number? Now, in this example, we are going to pick an unknown like we did in the previous examples. We are going to pick an unknown to represent the certain number. So for this example, let the unknown be x. So let the number be x. So from the first sentence, it says, I add 45 to a certain number and divide the sum by 2. Meaning 45 is added to a certain number, which is x, and is divided by 2, which can also be written as 45 plus x all over 2. And this is what we derive from the first sentence. Now, from the second sentence, it says the final result is the same as 5 times the number, meaning 45 plus x all over 2 is equal to 5 times the number, which is equal to 5 times x. And this is what we derive from the second sentence. Now 5 times x is going to give us 5x, so we'll have 5x here. 45 plus x all over 2 is equal to 5x. Now we're going to multiply through by 2 to get rid of this denominator. So 45 plus x all over 2 times 2 is equal to 5x. 5x times 2. This is going to cancel out this, and you'll be left with 45 plus x. Now 5x times 2 is going to give us 10x. So 45 plus x is going to give us 10x. Now we're going to subtract x from both sides. 45 is equal to 10x minus x. 10x minus x is going to give us 9x. So 45 is equal to 9x. Or you can say 9x is equal to 45. Sorry about that. Now we're going to divide both sides by 9. 9x divided by 9 is equal to 45 divided by 9. 9 is going to cancel out 9, and 45 divided by 9 is 5. So x is equal to 5. Now at the end of solving word problems, we are going to have to conclude. So the number is 5, and this is our conclusion. 1 over 4 of a certain number is added to 4 whole number 1 over 3. The sum is the same as when 1/3 of it is subtracted from 20 whole number 2 over 3. Find the number. Now, like the previous example, we are going to pick a letter to represent the certain number. So in this example, we are going to choose x. Well, 1 over 4 of a certain number is added to 4 whole number 1 over 3. The sum is the same as when 1/3 of it is subtracted from 20 whole number 2 over 3. Find the number. Feel free to pause the video and work out this example by yourself. Feel free to work by yourself. This example, like the previous examples, you are going to pick a letter to represent the certain number. In this example, let the letter be x. Let the number be x. Now, from the first sentence, it says that 1 of a certain number is added to 4 whole number 1 over 3, meaning 1 over 4x plus 4 whole number 1 over 3. And this was derived from the first sentence. Now, from the second sentence, it says that the sum is the same as when 1/3 of it is subtracted from 20 whole number 2 over 3. So from the second sentence, we can say that 1 over 4x plus 4/3 is equal to when 20 whole number 2 over 3 is subtracted from 1 over 3. This second sentence, it says the sum is the same as when 1 over 3 of it. When they said it, they are referring to the certain number, which is x. So it was referring to x. So we'll have minus 1 over 3x. Now we're going to turn the mixed fractions to improper fractions. 1 over 4x. Now, to convert this to an improper fraction, we'll multiply this to this and add to this. 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 plus 1 is 13. So we have 13 all over 3 is equal to 3 times 20 is 60, and 60 plus 2 is 62. So we'll have 62 all over 3 minus 1 over 3x. Now we're going to multiply each term by the LCM of 4, 3, 3, and 3. And the LCM is 12. So multiply each term by 12. So then we'll have 1 over 4x times 12 plus 13 all over 3 times 12 is equal to 62 over 3 times 12 minus 1 over 3x times 12. Now, this is going to cancel this and you'll be left with 3 here. So here you have 1x times 3. This is going to cancel this and you'll be left with 4. So you have plus 13 times 4 equal to, this is going to cancel this and you'll be left with 4 here. So you have 62 times 4 minus, this is going to cancel this and you'll be left with 4. So we have 1x times 4. Sorry, there is no space. One x times 3 is going to give us 3x. 13 times 4 is 52. So I have 3x plus 52 is equal to 62 times 4 is 248, and 1x times 4 is going to give us 4x. So put minus 4x. Now what you're going to do next is to add 4x to both sides. So I have 3x plus 4x plus 52 is equal to 248. And now subtract 52 from both sides. 3x plus 4x is equal to 248 minus 52. 3x plus 4x is 7x, and 248 minus 52 is 196. So this is equal to 196. So next we're going to divide both sides by 7. 7x divided by 7 is equal to 196 divided by 7. This is going to cancel out this. So x is equal to 196 divided by 7. And 196 divided by 7 is 28. So x is equal to 28. So this is your answer. But remember, at the end we'll have to conclude. So the number is 28, and this is your conclusion. Now take note of the following words and phrases. Now, anytime you see the result, the sign is always going to be a sign of equality. And when you see is the same, the sign will also be a sign of equality, since the same meaning one part is equal to another part, and sum is the same thing as your addition sign, and product is another way of saying times or multiply, and equal is another way of saying equal to. Now take note of the following words when you are solving word problems. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to share to your friends and families. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to keep practicing, and remember to just learn.